Hey coin collectors, it's DC on the Big D, and this is the 1964 Jefferson from the United States of America, the 5 cents coin from the United States. You see in front of Jefferson, who's facing to the left, it says "In God We Trust." In back of him it says "Liberty." There's a star there in the year 1964. One of the things you'll notice on these older coins is no initials on the bottom. We don't have the FS down here for Felix Schlag, and that's because they didn't put it on the coins until 1966, and so you won't see the initials down there on these older coins. There are two coins here, and that's because the coins were made at two different mints in 1964. They were made at the Denver Mint, which is this one right here. Pretty easy to get a Denver coin in 1964, even in your change these days. And the reason you can get the Denver coin so easy from 1964 is because they made 1.8 billion of them. They're still around. They're very low value coins unless you get them in really good shape. Easy to get in your change. So there's a D right there for Denver, and you can see a step or two here. What you're going to need if you want to get a really high price on a Denver Mint coin is to get it up to a mint state 65 or above. If you can get up to a mint state 67, you're going to be talking about somewhere between $1,500 and $4,000. What about the Philadelphia coins? Well, at Philadelphia in 1964, they made 1 billion of these too. Not the 1.8 billion of Denver, but still 1 billion. A lot of people didn't know the U.S. Mint could even make 1 billion nickels in 1964, and it turns out that they couldn't. What they did in 1964 was they initiated a date freeze. So all of 1964 and halfway or more through 1965, all of the coins that were minted had the year 1964 on them. There's a good chance if you get a 1964 nickel, it was minted in 1965. What about the San Francisco Mint coins? Well, it turns out that no S's on the nickels in 1964. From 1955 until 1968, no S's on the U.S. nickels. You won't see an S here anywhere from 1964. 1964, many of you coin collectors know, was the last year that they made the silver quarters and the silver dimes. The last year they made the 90% silver half dollars. But some of you might not know that they also made silver nickels, but only for a couple years. One half of 1942, 1943, 1944, and 1945. So here's the first half of 1942, and you'll see that this is a Philadelphia coin, no mint mark back here, and this is a copper nickel coin. This one here, however, it has a mint mark above the dome, and that's how you can tell the silver nickels from the United States. If you have a mint mark above the dome and it's a 42, 43, 44, or 45, it's a 40% silver nickel. So this nickel right here, 40% silver. For those 4 years, there were silver nickels, but only for those 4 years. One of the things that you always need to look for on these coins is how many steps there are. And if you look at the websites that grade coins, there are two major ones, and they are PCGS and NGC. NGC labels 1964 by saying most of these nickels are of disappointing quality, almost impossible to get good steps on a 1964 nickel. There's one other way that they made these nickels though, and they made them at Philadelphia as proof coins. So they made 4 million proof coins from Philadelphia in 1964, and they found 232 of those at a proof 69 deep cameos are worth $215. If you get a proof coin, it's going to have a finish like this. But this is not a 1964 proof set coin. This is from 1965 from the SMS set. The reason I brought this one in is they made some 1964 special mint set nickels kind of by mistake, and there's some of them out there. So if you want to get a 1964 special mint set, one of the first things you look at is to make sure that it's really shiny and that most of the stuff on it is worn down. Because what they did with the special mint sets is they over polished them. So this came directly out of a special mint set, never been circulated or anything, and there's very little detail anywhere in here, and that's not usual for a good condition coin. Okay with the letters and strikes, but very little detail on the Jefferson either. His hair is just kind of all flattened out, as is the braid on the back. So if you're looking for these coins, you might find, if you're really lucky, an SMS nickel, but probably not. It turns out that they only made a few of them, less than 25 of them are known. But one of the SMS nickels, so a 64 that looks like this, went for $31,500. What about these two? Well, even though they made 1 billion of the Philadelphia nickels, there's 7 at a Mint State 67 that are worth $5,500. So go out and look for these 64 nickels. You're going to get them in your change all the time. All right, that's all we have today from Big D Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.